It's the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Season 4 countdown. Hi. We got finished with all our Monster Fest stuff. We had a lot of fun, and now it's time to count down Mystery Science Theater episodes again. Tom is here, and we're all set. Let's just get started, because Season 4 I got a lot to talk about. 24 is Hercules Unchained. I'm not a big fan of the Steve Reeves Hercules, really. Rebel Set is 23. 22 is Space Travelers, aka Marooned. It's very boring. Matter of fact, Lindsay has not been able to get through it. I think it's a little funnier than she does, but oh boy, it's not easy. Hercules and the Captive Women, and Hercules Against the Moon Men are 21 and 22. Lon Chaney Jr. picking up a paycheck, and the Indestructible Man is number 19. The Killer Shrews at number 18. The Magic Sword, and I'll take a second to talk about this one. It's a Burt Gordon movie, and he's kind of going against type here, doing a sword and sorcery kind of film with Gary Lockwood and Basil Rathbone. You know, it's not bad. It's actually pretty decent. It's fairly active. It's a pretty good cast. His effects look pretty good. He must have a budget. And it looks good. It's a color film, and looks pretty good, actually, and fairly well paced. I don't know what happened. What happened, Burt Gordon? How did you make a good movie? And even Joel admits at the end of the episode it's pretty good. And despite the fact that of its quality, they have a lot of good riffs on it. If you're a Princess Bride fan, this is the movie to watch. The Giant Gila Monster is 16. 15 is The Day the Earth Froze. 14 is Attack of the Giant Leeches. Number 13 is Crash of the Moons with Rocky Jones. Fire Maidens from Outer Space. And An Experiment in Walking, Sitting, Smoking, and Sexism is number 12. A Manhunt in Space, the first of the Rocky Jones, and the more funnier one, is number 11. Tormented, Burt Gordon going against type again with a ghost film horror kind of story. Not as good as Magic Sword, and very funny jokes. Let's see. Monster Go-Go is number 9. I'm going to take a second to talk about this. This is the worst. This is, okay, not only this is the worst movie that they ever did on Mystery Science Theater out of 10 seasons. This is the worst film I've ever seen in my life. It's poorly directed. The scenes, you can't see the actors' faces. You can't see the actors in the scenes sometimes. The dialogue is just horrible. The acting is stiff. There's a lot of bad narration. The monster, or there was no monster, is just a cheap ploy to get around the fact that they didn't know what to do. It wasn't freaky or anything like that. There's no special effects. The helicopter scene is very long and pointless, and they change actors in the middle of the movie. It's like, oh, we can't even keep the same characters together for this thing. And also, the evidence that this is the worst movie ever made, there's a scene where somebody gets a phone call, and there's a shot of the phone, establishing the phone, and you hear, not the phone ring, but a guy off camera going, brrr. I don't know what to say about that. Okay, let's say you can't get the phone plugged in or something for the shot. Have the guy on the phone, you know, just do this, you know, start your scene with him here. I mean, it's called creativity. You just kind of like work around what you don't have. Or have somebody go in the other room and call if the phone is working. I am stunned by this film, how bad it is. Anyway, Being from Another Planet is number 8. 80s horror sci-fi film or something like that. The Human Duplicators is number 7 with Richard Kiel in a 60s kind of TV movie-ish sci-fi film of him being an alien trying to conquer the world with robots or something like that. And it's great. This is the most I've seen Richard Kiel talk in a movie, and he spends most of the film talking like this. He goes, "I did not expect you to be so beautiful." I don't know. He sounds like a kind of gay Ted Cassidy, if that makes any sense. Anyway. Number 6 is Attack of the Eye Creatures, a very lazy, lethargic movie. Number 5 is The Beatniks. This director has never met a beatnik in his life, and it's a very stupid movie. It's a crime picture, I guess, turned Hollywood picture where these thugs rob convenience stores. One of them gets the chance to be a star, and instead of telling his friends to go piss off, he drags them along, or they drag him along. He gets in more trouble, and he's kind of a dick anyway. I mean, he kind of deserves his... He doesn't deserve fame and fortune. He's an asshole. And he's not a beatnik. He doesn't know the beat culture. Terrible movie. And let's see, number 4 is Bride of the Monster, the Ed Wood masterpiece. And it features Bela Lugosi, Tor Johnson, and a octopus monster that does not move. And my favorite is the fact that people are thrown into the octopus's arms, and they wrap the arms around themselves, and they go, ah, ah, and they jump up. And then they come back and get right on the monster's lap. It's amazing. I would keep running. I wouldn't jump back onto the monster. And let's see, City Limits is a crappy post-apocalyptic teenager versus bad guys movies with Kim Cattrall, Ray Dong Chong, James Earl Jones, and Robbie Benson, who acts the whole movie behind a desk. And of course, he's killed behind that desk. Number 2 is Teenagers from Outer Space, a very wonderfully cheap, typically 50s movie with torture. And number 1, you probably would have already guessed this since my name is The Real Manos. Manos, The Hands of Fate is my favorite episode. Not just season 4, really. It's my favorite episode of all 10 seasons. I think it's just brilliant. Everything you want in an episode of Mystery Science Theater is there. Cheesy short, a strange film that's creepy by itself without it being artistically creepy. Crazy-ass characters. Torgo is just... He's a gift from the gods. He's just so strange with his theme music, and it's always funny. The ripping is just top-notch. Mike Nelson, before he took over the show, appears as Torgo at the end. The Torgo theme is played during the credits. This movie is perfect. And now we're getting to Lindsay's pick, which is...
Beatniks!
Beatniks, and I'll say it one more time. Before the counterculture really kind of took over the mainstream in the 60s, Hollywood was pretty much against the beat culture, and it's very obvious. You watch old TV shows and movies that pretend, I don't know what pretend to speak about beatniks, and they treat them as stupid and thuggish and phony, and this is pretty much an example of that. It's just terrible, and this is where the catchphrase "Shut up, Iris! Shut up, I tell you!" starts, and just another example of how Tony Travis is such a dick. Anyway. This episode is amazing, and I have no qualms about it, no problems. 5 round chips. It's the best. If you've seen any of these episodes on YouTube or DVD, go get them, or go watch them, whatever you want.